Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakah. Bismillahi walhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir. Rabbi wa tammim bil khair. Allahumma ja'alil Qur'ana rabi'a qulubina wa nura sudurina. Allahumma ameen. So we are going to start our today's session. So after derived noun, we have covered six common types of maf'ul. Maf'ul bihi, maf'ul lahu, maf'ul fihi, maf'ul al, maf'ul mutlaq, and maf'ul ma'ahu. And we have seen examples for all of them. Today, we are going to do most of we already did it. This topic, we know whatever we are going, but just it is a summary, and this is a good time for revision of some concepts we already knew. It is basically status of an ism. Status of summary. We already did about the status, that there are three status: rafa, nasab, and jar. In singular, like muslimun, musliman, muslimin, and then muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini in case of duo. And for plural, we did muslimuna, muslimina, rafa, nasab, and jar. For every noun, there are three status: rafa, nasab, and jar. So when ism has a status of rafa, it is called marfu'. When it has a status of nasab, it will be called mansub. And when the noun will have the status of jar, it will be called majroor. So one thing is very clear, that when this status will be, we have discussed this many times, and this is the most important concept. Whenever we just other than grammar, with we start, we should be. This is very important, that what is the status of that ism. And one thing that we are discussing it with the noun. So it is very clear that either we are discussing about verb or noun. So right now, the noun status can be rafa, nasab, or jar. Here about today's topic, it is a summary that when the noun can be a rough with rafa status, when a noun can be with nasab status, when a noun can be a jar status. One thing, that whenever now we say the noun, everything have a default form. There is no change. Mean, for a noun, default form will be a rafa status. Except so this is the first thing, that every noun, whenever we see it, it will be in a rafa status, like Fatihun, Nasirun, Muslimun, Hamidun. So we know that about the noun in the table, especially when we do that, is ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, masdar, and so by default, any noun, sabirun, rahimun, amirun. So every noun will have a status of noun, will have status of rafa. Whenever it will be a nasab or jar, when a ism status will be a nasab or jar, there will be a reason. Okay, about nasab and jar. And also for the rafa, there are rules that specifically it is mentioned that in this case, noun will always will be a rafa. So in these cases, so what is first thing is that marfu. There are cases we already discussed that in this case the noun will particularly, we mentioned that it will be in with rafa status, and they are: number one, we know that any file, either it is inside or outside doer. File mean doer, that will be in rafa status, like khalaqallahul arda. Allahu, it is outside doer. So Allah is with rafa status. Here with khalaqa, it is hidden. Inside door is always hidden. So inside door is he. So that will also be with rafa status. Any file, the doer will have the status rafa. By default, I am telling you that by default, any where any noun will have with the rafa state. But we mention here in some cases that there we need that. Similarly, the second case is naibul file. Whenever there will be a naibul file, in case of passive voice, when the where there will be passive verb, we have to look for naibul file. So naibul file stated, which will be replaced there. So that naibul file will also be in rafa status. We did these things, but in a summary, we just have there and there. So if we look at them again and again, if we just understand something once and we will forget it easily. If we want to retain them, we should revise them again and again. So here, the third case is in Jumla Ismiya, Mubtada and Khabar. Mubtada and Khabar both will be in Rafa status. This is the Allahu Ghafurun Rahimun. So Mubtada and Khabar both will be in Rafa status in case of Jumla Ismiya, nominal sentence. And also Ismu Kana, we discussed it before. So Ismu Kana, that is also be in Rafa status. And all detached pronoun, huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu, these are detached pronoun. These are noun, these are pronoun. What is the status? Their status is by default, it is they are Rafa status. So this is very important. One is all doer. If it is inside doer, outside doer, naibul file, they will be in Rafa status. In Jumla Ismiya, Mubtada and Khabar, both should be in Rafa status. Ismu Kana, Ismu Kana is basically a Rafa status and all detached pronoun. If we see it, huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu, what is the status of that? That is Rafa status, and we will say them as marfu. Oh, this is about the marfu. So before go to the nasab first, these things that we should remember that Rafa status here, they are must. So let me ask Zainab.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, can you please revise this?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so there are three statuses that every ism can be. It's either mansub, marfu, or majroor. If it is majroor, then it has five
No,
reasons.
let's go to the Rafa. Go ahead.
Okay, so if it's majroor, there are five reasons where it might be. If it is an inside or outside doer, so the outside doer is always going to be in marfu status. Like for example, khalaqallahu. Khalaqa is inside doer is he, and Allahu is the outside doer, which is in rafa status. And naibul fa'il is another reason in which the fa'il is going to be marfu. So again, in khuliqallah, khuliqal ardu, ardu is in marfu status because it's the naibul fa'il, right? And the third reason is in Jumla Ismiya, Mubtada and Khabar are marfu. So an example for Jumla Ismiya is Allahu Ghafurur Rahim. The Mubtada is Allahu, which is in marfu status, and Ghafurur Rahim is the Khabar, which is also in marfu status. The fourth reason is Ismu Kana, which is just if it is an ismu, if it comes after an ismu kana, then that the ism becomes marfu status, like kana nasu ummatun wahidatan. Sir, are you pointing to something?
Yeah. Ummatun wahidatan is
Hmm.
so an-nasu. Ismu kana is an-nasu. Okay. So
Nasu,
now
yeah.
Ismu kana is Rafa.
Rafa status. And then the fifth one is if it's a detached pronouns like huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, nahnu, they are always by default in marfu status.
Yeah. So this basically it is describing that it is all about the verb. Thank you. So fa'il, they will be in a Rafa status, and we say it as marfu. Now, whenever the noun will have nasab and jar status, Zainab, can you mute the mic?
Yeah.
So if its status is nasab or jar, so there are reasons, and we know all the reason because we already discussed these things. Like yesterday, we finished one topic that is about objects, mafa'il. So maf'ul, whenever the noun is maf'ul, so status of maf'ul will always be nasab status. Second reason that when the noun will be with nasab status, nawasibul ism. Nawasibul ism are inna, anna, anna, lakinna, laita, la'alla. There is a list of nawasibul. So whenever these inna, anna, kanna, lakinna, laita, alla, la'alla, after that the noun will, they will make the nouns mansub, so nasab status due to nawasibul ism. Khabar of kana, like here we say that the ismu kana and khabru kana. Ismu kana will be rafa status and khabru kana will be with nasab status. Also mudaf can have any status. So when the mudaf can be with nasab status here, the one of the reason, if we put harfun nida, we discuss harfun nida, ya yuha, ya yatuha. So when they comes before mudaf, so mudaf after harfun nida, that it will make it as nasab, like rasulullahi. And if we put ya before that, so rasulu, that mudaf will become mansub. Abdullahi, when we put ya before that, so it will become Abdullahi. So this is another reason. And also we discuss about ma and laisa, where when we want to make the jumla ismiya, nominal sentence as negative, we use the ma and laisa. And when we put ma and laisa, they make khabar as mansub in jumla ismiya. In jumla ismiya, khabar will be mansub when we put ma and laisa to that. There is another important reason for noun to be mansub is la nafiyatul jins. La followed by a noun, light, nakira, mean common noun, and mansub. That basically of that la is called la nafiyatul jins. There is absolutely no that. So that is also after la. In that la, after this ilaha, this will become mansub. And pronoun attached to a verb. So here, pronoun attached to a verb, the status will be nasab. So mana'aka, mana'a is a verb, ka is a pronoun that is attached with this. He stopped ka, you. So this pronoun, this ka, in case of this, after what? After verb, the pronoun attached to verb, what will be their status? Amarana, amara, he ordered, na us. So this here is na is basically object. So these attached pronoun are to a verb. So their status will be nasab. Their status will be nasab. Again, all mafa'il, like maf'ul, whenever the noun will be used as object, the status will be nasab. Due to nawasibul ism, khabar of kana and its sisters, mudaf will be mansub if there will be one of harfin nida before that. Khabar in ma and laisa, when we use before jumla ismiya to make it negative, so khabar in that case will be mansub. La followed by noun, la nafiyatul jins, noun, light, common noun, and mansub. There is absolutely no that. So in this case, the status of noun will be nasab. And pronoun attached to verb. This is very important. A pronoun here, if you look at that, a pronoun attached to a verb. And in other case, in next section, we will see pronoun attached to ism. That will have it. But when the pronoun will attach to a verb, so it will become nasab. Why? Because he stopped ka, you. So in this case, ka is like an object. Hamalta, whom, who. Amara, na. So this is basically the, so here, so all pronoun attached to a verb. So in this case, they will be mansub. Brother Ahmed, can you please revise this one? That when the status of a noun can be a nasab, a noun can be a mansub when
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
once.
A noun can be, there are 7 conditions. All maf'ul are in nasab status. The second one is due to nawasibul ism. Inna, anna, kanna, lakinna, laita, lala. If these nawasibul ism are before the ism, the ism becomes mansub. Third condition is for khabru kana. The khabar of the kana is always in nasab status. And fourth is muzaf after hurf nida. If the hurf nida is before muzaf ilayh, the status of the muzaf will be nasab. And if laysa and ma are used in the jumla ismiya, the ism will be in nasab status for those as well.
Khabar.
And sorry,
Khabar in jumla ismiya.
ji,
Khabar will be nasab.
khabar,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
sorry. And isme nakira after la nafitul lil jins, that will also be in nasab status.
Yeah, after la nafiyatul jins, and that noun has basically different, that it will be light, it will be common noun, and one of the properties that it should be in nasab status. La nafiyatul jins. Okay, keep going.
And last one is the pronoun, attached pronoun after a verb is always in nasab status.
Nasab status. The next thing is the status of noun. When the status of noun can be a majroor. Very easy to remember. Two common types are due to haruf jar, due to one of harf jar. If it followed by a noun followed by harf jar, bi, min, fi, ala, ba, qasmiya, ka, like that. If followed by one of harf jar, there is a list of haruf jar. Then the noun will be majroor. This is, everybody knows that. Bismi. Why this is ismi? Because of B. B is one of harf jar. Minas samai. So here the status is jar. So because of min. Fil ardi. The second important property is that mudaf ilay will always be majroor. Mudaf ilay. In mudaf ilay, status of mudaf ilay will be jar status. So Rasulullahi, Kitabullahi. Whatever you see, the mudaf ilay will always be majroor. Mudaf ilay will always be majroor. So these are two. Next is basically it is the same extension of this. A pronoun attached to an ism. Ismuka, tabuhu. This pronoun ka, hu, hum. Why they are basically status of ka, who, and whom is jar? Here in this case, let me ask somebody. Musab.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. What is the status of ka here?
This guy is majroor.
So jar status or majroor. Why?
Because it's a attached pronoun attached to an ism.
Attached to an ism. This is one. And also, what is by grammatically ismuka is what? Ismuka, rabbuhu, rabbuhum.
Mudaf ilayh.
Mudaf ilayh. And we already know that mudaf ilayh is
Majroor.
majroor. And if the pronoun attached to a verb, then it will be?
If a pronoun attached to a verb, then it would be mansub.
Any example?
Mana'aka.
So what is verb here?
Mana'a.
Mana'a. So a pronoun attached to a verb here is ka. So what will be the status?
Mansub.
Mansub. And here ismuka, ka is attached to a noun. to kitabuhu, who is attached to a noun, whom is attached to kitabu. So they are mudaf mudaf ilayh. And yes, so we have to go to the breakout room. It will give us another chance to revise these status. Marfu.
What about in mansoob, manaka? This is also mudaf alayh?
Azhar bhai, explain about mudaf mudaf ilayh. What is mudaf mudaf ilayh?
Mudaf alayh is mudaf light, and mudaf alayh should be majroor status. And
What is that both? Okay, so there are two things, mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Tell me, mudaf will be noun or verb?
Yeah, this is a question. Mudaf should be known. You're right.
What about mudaf ilayh?
Mudaf alayh is
So noun. All fragments is basically they are combination of noun. Combination of
known. Yeah.
noun. Is man'aka is mudaf mudaf ilayh?
No, it's not, because it's a
Reason.
verb. It's a verb.
Reason.
Reason is a verb. It's a manaka is a verb.
So mudaf mudaf ilayh is sifa. Whenever we do the fragments, 5 fragments, it is all discussion about the noun.
Jazakallah, I'm clear now.
Okay. So we should go to the breakout room. So we will have another chance for revision.